at the time I was struggling with adult hormonal acne, and a lot of the products that I was selling or representing or just didn't always work for my skin. And so I started working with a licensed esthetician, and they were able to really handpick and cherry pick products for an at-home routine. And that was this light bulb moment where I'm like, why aren't more people getting recommendations from estheticians?
Yeah.
How do we get more people to know about licensed estheticians and get recommendations from them? So that was like the initial idea and kind of light bulb of, okay, how do we bring more awareness to the esthetician and aesthetic community?
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Aquia Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives, just like you, on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here with me, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of like-minded, ambitious friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, then click the link down below in the show description to join our community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, follow Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. What I like to do is something called the Friends in Beauty Friday feature, where every Friday I spotlight a different friend in beauty and their accomplishments. So no matter how big or small you think it is, I want to shout you out. I want to send you some good vibes. So all you have to do is use the hashtag FIB Friday feature, tag Friends in Beauty on something that you have accomplished, and I'll share it with the community. Additionally, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, YouTube, you name it. And whatever platform you are listening from right now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the Friends in Beauty podcast. I truly appreciate you so much. And I would love it even further if you took the time to leave a 5-star rating, a review, a comment, a like, a share, a subscribe, or something to let me know how you feel about the Friends in Beauty podcast. I would absolutely love it. And also, I have to tell you that you should join the Friends in Beauty mailing list tribe if you haven't already, because they are the first to know about all things Friends in Beauty, and I send out different business resources, tips, and advice throughout the week. So if that's something that you're interested in, the link for that will be in the description as well. And last but not least, the most important thing is to share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your family, your friends, anybody that you think could benefit from the information that is being shared. Share away to help me grow the Friends in Beauty community. Now, on this episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, I welcome Shannon Erley, the CEO and founder of Pomp, to the Friends in Beauty guest chair. Pomp is a digital platform that helps consumers get personalized skincare recommendations. Pomp connects customers to certified estheticians who take the time to understand their skin type and concerns and hand select the right skincare regimen. Shannon has worked in the skincare and beauty industry for years and was personally struggling with adult hormonal acne. It wasn't until she started working with a licensed esthetician that recommended a good at-home skincare routine was when her skin started to improve. With so many people getting skincare recommendations elsewhere, Shannon wanted to highlight the importance of estheticians who have gone to school and trained for over 600 plus hours and have estheticians be at the forefront of making better skincare recommendations. So she built Pomp, a technology platform for estheticians to integrate into their businesses to make better recommendations for new and existing clients. Anytime that I see beauty and technology integrating, it gets me really, really excited. I had such a great time chatting with Shannon and just learning all about Pomp. In this interview, Shannon shares her personal story with adult acne that sparked the idea for Pomp, the process of research and development prior to launching, how the Pomp platform works, tips for starting a successful beauty startup, why you shouldn't buy your skincare products from Amazon, how estheticians can use Pomp to better serve their clients, and so much more. If you or someone that you know have been struggling to find the proper skincare products for your skin type that actually work, you may want to check out Pomp. Let's go ahead and jump into this chat with Shannon, and if you prefer to watch our beautiful faces, then tune in on YouTube. Enjoy. Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, Shannon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute honor. I cannot wait to dive in and talk about your business because I am a techie at heart. So anything that's like technology based, I just absolutely love it for us in the beauty industry. Like absolutely. Yeah. Before we get started, we're going to start off with some icebreaker questions to get us warmed up so the Friends in Beauty audience can get to know you outside of beauty. So the first one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
So I'm a new mom. I have a 9-month-old. Yeah. So, that's one thing. Another is I do love to travel. And then a third, I have a 5-year-old sourdough starter and I love making sourdough bread.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
I just saw this thing on Instagram like yesterday with 2 like sourdough things and it was like exploding out the top.
Yeah.
I didn't even know people did that until I saw that on Instagram.
It's cool and really, really tasty.
Okay, I like that. That's really different. Okay. If you had to delete all but 3 apps on your phone, what 3 apps would you keep?
Ooh, well, I do now that I have a son, I have I don't even know what it's called, but it's like a photo sharing app with family. So I would keep that one. I would keep my Slack because I do have to keep in touch with my team. And then I would try to eliminate social media. So I would keep a podcast app just so I can, yeah. So those are the 3 I would keep.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. You can still stay plugged into, things, but not necessarily on social media.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So I have these things called pod decks, and they have like these interesting, but sometimes a little crazy questions in it. This one is a what the heck and a would you rather. Which one do you want?
Let's do what the heck.
What the heck? Okay. Give Shannon a fun but not too crazy card.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know if we want to out anybody on the podcast. Okay. What nickname have you been called that you hate?
People call me Shanae all the time.
Shanae?
Yeah.
Where did they get that from?
Shannon, Shanae, I don't know. Yeah. So Shanae.
Okay, Shanae. That's so crazy. What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
I am good about caring for the people in my life. I'm an empath, and so I just really care for the people, friends, family, and just try to go above and beyond for them.
Yeah, I love that. What's the worst job you've ever had?
Oh gosh, I've been working since I was 12. I've had a lot. I was in San Diego and I was a crepe chef. So they didn't have like people working there. So I took the orders, I bussed all the tables, and I also was like the chef too, who had made all of it. So it was a lot.
You was every woman at the job.
I was. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And if you weren't the CEO and founder of Pomp, what else could you see yourself doing?
Ooh, that's a good question. I do love baking. So I could see myself either owning a coffee shop or bakery. I also love how movies are made and production. So I could see myself in the film industry behind the cameras.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. You could be behind the cameras and then also baking some things to bring to keep us fed.
Exactly.
All right. So where are you originally from?
Originally, Ohio.
Ohio. Okay. So how'd you make your way over to like the West Coast and everything?
Yeah. So after high school, I grew up super small town in Ohio, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. So I went to college in San Diego, stayed there for 10 years. And then after that, I'm like, okay, let's pick up. Me and my dog moved from San Diego to Denver 6 years ago. And here we are, just bouncing around a little bit.
Nice. I love that. I have some family in Columbus. So I've been to Ohio a few times.
Okay. Columbus is fun. Yeah.
Columbus is cool. I think I got the chance to really see the city. I think I went in June because I had gone before, but it was literally just to go for like graduations and things. So it was like from the house to the graduation, from the graduation to the house. But this time I got
Okay.
to see it a little bit. And it was nice.
Yeah.
It's different from DC, but it's still nice.
Yeah. A lot of people call it a flyover state, but it is nice when you're there.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So what were you doing before you got into the beauty industry?
I've always loved the beauty industry. I was working in startups. It's kind of been my career path. I was working at a marketplace startup. I was the second employee. And then after that, I got my first opportunity to jump into the beauty industry.
Okay, so what were you doing?
I was working for, it was a microcurrent company based in San Diego, and I was in charge of all of the e-commerce and retail distribution, and kind of growing that division. So it was great and kind of got my toe in the industry, and then I fell in love with it ever since.
Nice. Were these like brand new brands or existing brands that you were helping to like market?
Some of both. So my first job in the beauty industry was at a company called New Face, and they're the at-home microcurrent device. And then after that, I was consulting for some smaller indie up-and-coming brands. So I have a passion for just helping new brands get their food out there.
Okay.
So kind of both. Yeah, both sides.
Yeah, that's super cool. So what was going on in your world when you decided to create Pomp?
Yeah, so this idea came to mind probably 5-6 years ago. I was in the industry. I was working for specific lines, working with a lot of the major retailers. And at the time, I was struggling with adult hormonal acne, and a lot of the products that I was selling or representing or just didn't always work for my skin. And so I started working with a licensed esthetician, and they were able to really handpick and cherry pick products for an at-home routine. And that was this light bulb moment where I'm like, why aren't more people getting recommendations from estheticians?
Yeah.
How do we get more people to know about licensed estheticians and get recommendations from them? So that was like the initial idea and kind of light bulb of, okay, how do we bring more awareness to the esthetician and aesthetic community? And this was 5 years ago. And then we launched March of 2020, which is kind of a crazy time to launch. But yeah, the idea started a long time ago.
Okay, that's really nice because I know I'm a makeup artist, so I know a lot of the times if I get a client that has acne or just acne prone skin, they're always asking me for recommendations, and I'm like, I cannot help you. You need to go to an esthetician. I just do the makeup. I don't really know much about the skincare aspect of it. So a lot of makeup artists now are starting to become estheticians as well, to kind of have, the education to treat people like that as well.
Yeah, it's like a holistic approach to the skin with color and then skin health.
Yeah, absolutely. How does Pomp work?
Yes. So I personally love how Pomp works. So it's really two sides. So if you are a skincare shopper, skincare lover looking for recommendations, you can go on to Pomp. You fill out a survey about your skin type, your concerns, and then we match you with one of our virtual estheticians. And it's all free. So it's not, you don't have to pay to get these recommendations and consult with an esthetician. And then the esthetician will request a photo of your skin, dive into a little bit more of the skin concerns. It's a text-based consultation. And then after that, the esthetician will curate a routine, add it all into your account. So then you can see the hand selected routine by the esthetician. And then from the esthetician side, what we're really passionate about is supporting licensed estheticians, and a lot of them are independent and small business owners. And so we have really built out the platform and technology to help them communicate and message with their clients.
Yeah.
They can follow up, they can build routines on the platform. So really trying to integrate Pomp into their day-to-day to help them just service their clients better.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really cool about Pomp is we have a medical director on our team, and we don't formulate our own products. So we have partnered with brands like Is Clinical and Revision and Jan Marini and Global Skin Solutions, and a lot of brands that estheticians can't always get on their own. And then clients, it's a little harder for them to find these products. So really trying to build an ecosystem to support estheticians and people shopping for skincare.
That sounds really, really cool. I have so many questions now because I'm so interested in like the behind the scenes aspect of it. Like, how are the estheticians able to like manage the inquiries and like get back to people? And is it kind of like not an algorithm, but I don't know how to say it. Like, how do they know to like, is it like really individualized consultations, or is it based off of like this person has oily skin and then they have this problem and then we're going to recommend this?
Yeah. So right now it's based on availability. So we have a lot of estheticians that we work with. And so anyone that comes in, it's based on availability. As we are growing and developing our relationships with more estheticians, we want, this will be coming in 2023 that we're really excited about, is to then be able to match people shopping for skincare with estheticians based on geography. So to help build their clientele in person, and then skin type and skin concerns and specialties. But right now it is on availability, but all of our estheticians are licensed and trained on all the product lines. So they're just really fantastic at making those recommendations.
I really love that so much. So the recommendations that they make, is it strictly the products that are offered on Pomp, or do they recommend other products that people could purchase like elsewhere?
Yeah. So we have some estheticians that, in their practice, they carry one line, or they know that their client is using a specific cleanser and they'll say, hey, you keep using that, but these are, this is the serum and SPF and eye cream that I would really recommend through Pomp, and build that routine there.
Yeah.
So that we just want to be really personalized, and we don't want to pigeonhole anyone into making a specific routine, and really leave it up to the esthetician to make the best routine for the client.
Yeah, this is like a game changer because it's just so much information and so many products on the market now. But to be able to get it from the people who actually use it and are educated on what to do and what works and what doesn't, I love that so much.
I know it. I mean, coming from the beauty industry, there's thousands of product lines and it's so hard to find the right products. And I just feel so passionately about estheticians and how more people need to know about them, because the industry is crowded and it's hard to navigate. And estheticians have gone to school, they understand the skin, and they love the skin, they love education. And so how do we support more estheticians with what we're doing, and bring more clients and bring more awareness to people that, you should be getting skincare recommendations from a licensed professional.
Right. And this is like really random, but do you have any opinion on the different celebrities that are starting to come out with like skincare brands and beauty brands? Because I feel like, I don't know if they're as educated as, the estheticians or what have you, but they're having these brands and then people are just buying it because it's backed by, a celebrity.
Yeah, we definitely have opinions on it. I mean, we work with hundreds of estheticians, and I would say the consensus is, when we have talked to our estheticians, that every celebrity has a personal esthetician that they're using. So they are getting their own treatments from estheticians. And it's not saying all the, like maybe the brands aren't effective or not. But we, at least with the brands and partnerships that we work with, the estheticians and our medical director truly stand behind and know are effective. And so I don't know, they could probably try these brands and see for themselves if they like it. But
Right.
definitely the consensus is like every celebrity has an esthetician that they're seeing.
Absolutely, for sure. So how long did it take? Well, not how long, but in the time in between the idea that you had for Pomp and then the time that you launched, what was taking place in order for you to get to that launch date? Like what were the behind the scenes thing that you had to do?
A lot. I am a very risk adverse person. So it was a little scary. It was a lot scary for me to dive in. I spent about a year just qualifying and validating the idea. So surveyed hundreds of people in the industry, friends and family, to see if something like this would work. Talked to estheticians and professionals in the space, and then said, okay, there is interest here. So then that was in 2018. And then in 2019, I said, okay, let's like, I had my full-time job at the time, and on the side, it's like, okay, let's try to just build this on the side in the evenings and weekends. So I found a part-time developer to help me kind of build it a little bit. And then officially launched March of 2020. And it was me and 3 part-time developers. We were bootstrapping the company, and it was a grind when we I mean, it's still a grind, but it was a grind when we launched. But it took a few years to fully launch, and the idea had to keep forming and build on it.
Got you. Were there any challenges or unforeseen hurdles that you had to overcome that you didn't really know were involved in developing a company like this?
Oh gosh, so many. Legal stuff, like company formation, trademarks, like all kinds of things, technology. Like I like, you should have seen me trying to interview developers. Like I had no idea what I was doing or saying. I knew in my mind what I wanted, but really trying to learn and figure out technology and what I even needed and how to communicate that. Lots of challenges, even still, lots of challenges today too. Unforeseen, yeah.
I got you. Do you have any tips, maybe like your top 3 tips for starting a successful startup?
Oh gosh, don't give up. People will tell you, you're kind of crazy for doing this. So don't give up. Just grind and have grit and just persistence and push through. And don't look at what you're doing each day, because sometimes you're like, what did I even do today? I think what's been helpful for me was to look back, even where we've come in the last week or where we've come in the last year and how much progress. So sometimes the day-to-day can feel really mundane or you're not progressing. But to look back on where you've come, you actually then end up seeing the progress.
Yeah, for sure. As far as funding goes, I always tell people when I have them on the podcast, I always have like ideas for businesses, or I know a lot of us do, but I always get stuck at like the funding, like where am I going to get the money for this? So with a lot of startups, like how are they going about getting funding to put into the business to launch?
Yeah, so if it were up to me, I would not have taken on venture capital. Because that's a whole other ball game, hamster wheel that it's hard to get off. And a lot of expectations that come with it. I just am very, you have to be really creative because you can figure it out. Like I was working with 3 developers and wasn't paying them. So I was like, I was figuring out, different equity contracts with them and getting really creative with it and tapping into your network, because you would be surprised, especially when you're starting, how many people want to help you. at least like get things off the ground. And so I found myself just getting really creative with my network and trying to figure out, how do I do this for as little cost as possible? And then we reached an inflection point where, because we're building a technology platform and, this isn't going to be just a lifestyle business, and we really wanted to make it big and impactful in the industry in so many different ways, that was our decision to go out and raise venture capital. And that was a whole challenge in and of itself, that we're about to kick off another round too. So gearing up for that.
Okay. I love that you mentioned tapping into your network, because I think a lot of times we forget about that, or we just assume that nobody wants to help us. We got to, go out here and grind, but being more like resourceful, like using the resources that you have and the relationships that you built to, launch your business.
Yeah. And you'll be surprised how many people that do want to help or trade for things,
So launching during the pandemic, like, did that help or hurt in any kind of way?
I think the economy in general has not been super helpful, but what I think has been helpful with the pandemic is more people are used to telehealth and virtual consultations and doing more things online or virtually. So I think that's really helped. And what we saw more so that was brought to light with the pandemic is estheticians, and how their businesses were shut down overnight because it was all in person.
Yeah.
And so that was this aha moment for us, where it's like, wait a second, how do we continue to support estheticians? If this were to ever happen again, how do we help them evolve in how they're seeing clients, how they're getting new clients? How do we help them become virtual if they want to, and really provide resources to help their business that has just been solely in person.
Yeah, that was a rough time for us people that do like face-to-face things, makeup artists, estheticians. I know my one esthetician friend I'm thinking about in particular, she was going through it because she had her own suite and everything too. So not being able to see, and she's in Virginia. So Virginia had really, really strict laws about the mask and how you could service the people. It was tough for a long time.
I know it was in California too. There was a lot of regulations in California. Then we know a lot of estheticians that, it was really tough. So that's where we're trying to figure out, how do we come alongside and help and be a just added resource for them.
Yeah. So now that you're 2 years into running the business, almost 3 years, we're almost in 2023, but almost 3 years, into running the business, how are you balancing new mommyhood and like the day-to-day like maintenance of the business?
Still figuring it out. Still figuring it out. It is it's a whirlwind trying to balance everything. Trying to be very intentional when I'm working hours and getting as much done. And then instead of, working in the evenings, I shut down and shut off between 5 and 8 and try to be as intentional and spend as much quality time with family during those hours. So trying to you have to plan a little bit more, but then just be really intentional with, your time blocks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Intentional and actually stick to it.
Yes.
Actually stick to it. So I love the fact that you have the doctor on the team, but how did you go about choosing like the estheticians and vetting them? Were they already in your network, or did you go out and find them? What did they find you?
Honestly, now everyone's kind of finding us. Initially, they were somewhat in our network. But we have estheticians that apply and they get added to a wait list. It's not super long, but we verify their credentials because we want to make sure they are licensed. And then we really accept, any esthetician that's licensed. We just want to make sure that they are practicing, have the licensing, and they can get going right away. So try to remove as many hurdles and barriers as possible.
Okay. Well, I want to have some fun with you. We're going to play a game of Never Have I Ever. Have you ever played that before?
Yes.
Okay, well, this one is different. So I'm going to give you a never have I ever statement for the podcast. And if it's happened to you before, share the story behind it. And if not, how would you recommend somebody tackle this, I guess? Let's see. So the never have I ever statement I have for you is never have I ever used a skincare product and had an allergic reaction. Has that ever happened to you before?
Yes, it has.
Oh my gosh. What happened? What was it? We need to know. What was it and what happened?
So it was a higher strength retinol, and I didn't follow the instructions of easing into it and using it every few days. And I just got like really irritated and flaky.
No, I'm so sorry.
But that's it. That's like the worst of it. So.
Because I know one thing when you, prayerfully, I don't have to experience like adult acne. I'm blessed enough to never have gone through that phase in my life. Like I be telling people like, this is genetics. Like, I don't know. I've just never.
You are lucky.
Yeah. Like every now and then I'll get like a bump or something like that. But I know people who have like really really tough time with acne. So a lot of times when they get these products, they just want it to work. So they read the instructions, but they're like, I need it to work right now. So I'm gonna slather it all over my face.
Oh yeah. You are so lucky that you have not struggled with that.
That's why I'm like, keep my fingers crossed. I don't want to speak too soon at all. But even though people have like their personalized skincare routines, are the steps pretty much the same no matter if you're a dry, oily combination, like as far as you do this first, that first or second, are the steps still the same or the product still the same, but just maybe different formulations to address the problems?
Yeah, you know what I love so much about it is truly different for every customer, client, and every esthetician. We have some estheticians that love two brands, and those are the two brands that they kind of interchange with. Then we have some estheticians that are trained on all 17 of our partnerships, and it is like so customized and personalized based on concern, where you live, because that, humidity levels make a difference, age, like so many different things. And I think what I love about it is I see so many different routines that are built, and it's like, some people come in and they want a very simple routine. Other people come in and they're like, I want the works. I want a 7-step routine, like give it all to me.
Yeah.
And I think what's so unique about it and the esthetician's experience is they just really cater to the client's needs and what they're looking for. And so sometimes we'll have a 7-step routine with 7 different products from 7 different product lines. But I think that's what's so unique about it is it's so personalized, and we're not an algorithm. Like we're using estheticians to make those decisions.
Right. No AI or anything like that.
No, yeah. We believe in estheticians and humans and supporting them, and yeah.
Yeah, the AIs are getting out of control these days.
I know. But I will say, what's unique is with that, we don't see, like, I know your question around skin reactions, we haven't seen people with adverse effects. We don't get returns because the estheticians, they know, like they're getting it right.
Right. That is excellent. And I saw something on you all's Instagram page that I had never even considered before, but why shouldn't people buy their skincare from Amazon?
Oh yeah, this is a big one. So I've worked with Amazon in the past. So as a retail, like a brand, so I've kind of seen it all a little bit on that front. With Amazon and specific online retailers, you want to make sure that they are authorized. And with skincare, especially, you want to make sure it's in a warehouse at a specific temperature, depending on ingredients. Also, there's a lot of unauthorized sellers, so you don't know how they're getting the product.
Right.
Or like it's like kind of scary actually, but I've purchased some product before, and it was almost like whoever was like claiming it was the brand it wasn't like the real product inside the tube. So we always and our estheticians like definitely get behind get behind this big time. You just want to make sure you're buying it either from the brand itself or an authorized distributor or retailer.
Right.
And just certain online channels, like unfortunately you don't know where it's coming from or if it's expired, how long it's been there. And so you just want to make sure you're getting it from the right source, and then it's going to be effective. And yeah.
I had never even thought about that before. I've never bought any skincare from Amazon anyway, but I just never, because people go to Amazon for everything.
Oh yeah, people do. Yeah.
So you would just automatically think when it comes to skincare that it will be reliable, as well as, buying some lashes or a charger. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the biggest skincare myth that you come across more often than like usual? Like one that just keeps reoccurring over and over again?
Oh, a skincare myth. That's a good question. I don't know if this is a myth, but I think it's what I see as highly debatable is oil cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've done a lot of esthetician polls within our community, and some estheticians are so for it and some are so against it. And I think it also just depends on like what type of oil and your skin type and all of that. So yeah, not a myth, but it's definitely something I've seen come up
Yeah.
often. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of controversy, especially with the girls that are already oily. They're like, why would I put more oil on my skin?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So since you're on the inside a little bit, like what do you see as like the future of beauty technology? Like how is technology and beauty being combined?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Well, I think we're part of it, for sure. I think in Sephora has some unique technology too, with like color matching, and I love that. I think that's really innovative. And also being able to like virtually try on different colors,
Mm-hmm.
I think is really cool. I don't think I think AI and algorithms are going to continue to play out, but I think it's going to figure like seeing what really sticks, because some of those things have come and gone. So yeah, I don't know.
I like that. I didn't even think about the shade matching thing at Sephora. Also has it as well.
Yeah.
Another thing that I saw recently that was really cool is nail techs. They're using this like chip. It's like an NFC tag chip. And when people get
Oh,
their nails done, they'll like do the acrylic, they'll put the chip up under the acrylic and do the nail, so that if somebody comes and scans the nail, it'll pop up like their Instagram. So cool.
what? I have not heard that. That's wild.
Yes. I forget the name of the company. I posted a video on the Friends of Beauty Instagram page, but I thought that was just so cool. So I
I'm gonna have to
posted
look
it,
at
and my
that.
makeup artist now, like, okay, so how can we do this for ourselves? I don't know if we could do it for makeup. Only way I could think about is like if you had like a tube of lipstick or something and the chip was in there, somebody can, oh, what lipstick is that, and scan it. But the girls with the nails, you can scan their nail and it'll pop up the nail text information,
Oh
like
my
just
God.
like that. So cool.
I have to look that up. That is so fascinating.
Yes, yes. To your knowledge, do you know if there's any place that houses information like that, like the future of like the tech world and I guess beauty? I don't know.
You know, I think it's a little fragmented. It's a little hard to find. I know like there's certain technology conferences or sites, but they're not necessarily specific to beauty, or
Mhm.
there's like beauty conferences, but then it's not specific to technology. So
Right.
it's kind of like you're kind of piecing together like different resources and information and trying to bridge the two together.
Got you, got you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think when I see things, that's so true, because if I see something on the tech side, I'm like, how can I like incorporate this into beauty?
right.
Yeah, how can I incorporate this, but it's not necessarily like catered to us.
Right. Yeah. And then if it's like in beauty, then it's maybe not so tech focused.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a really cool thing or product, but it's not really technology driven.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that for sure. So what do you want your legacy to be when it comes to Pomp?
Oh my gosh, that's a really good question. Honestly, so we just came off, we had a full team offsite yesterday, and I just I care deeply about our team, and I care deeply about estheticians in the community. And I don't know, from a legacy perspective, I just hope that translates and people like see that and it comes through in our communication and what we're building, and how we truly just want to support and care for not only our team, but also um, estheticians and our growing community there.
Yeah, yeah. How would you like to see the company evolve in like the next 5 years?
I would love Pomp to truly be the number one platform for not only estheticians and education, but from an esthetician resource perspective, a lot of resources for estheticians are very fragmented and they're hard to find. So I would love Pomp to be that number one resource for esthetician resources, but also the number one platform that estheticians are using in their day-to-day business to help run their business and save time and make more money. And then from the consumer perspective, there are so many different beauty blogs out there. A lot of them are just written by beauty editors, and I really want consumers to come to Pomp as a trusted platform for education from licensed professionals. So it's like that trusted source.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. So are you going to pass this baby down to your son?
I mean, if he likes beauty, I mean, well, yeah.
He's going to inherit the business. He's so lucky already.
Yeah.
So anything coming up next for you or for Pomp?
We have some new partnerships with skincare lines that we're working on in the work. So excited about those. We are about to launch in the next 60 days photographic journey tracking.
Oh,
So
great.
yeah, so we're really excited to launch that. So estheticians can track the progress of clients, and then the clients can see their progress. Because I know I'm guilty of this, where I'm like, I think this is working, but I don't know. But then when you compare a photo side by side, you're like, oh, wait, that's little, that spot is getting better. So we're going to be launching that soon. So we're excited about that.
I love that. That's going to be a game changer too, because that's just going to, solidify even more that, these recommendations work.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yes. I love that. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So before you go, I have to ask you the Friends in Beauty rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So whatever comes to your mind first, just go ahead and spit it out.
Okay.
So the first one, what are the top 3 keys to your success so far?
Ooh, fail fast. And so you're gonna fail, but do it fast and then move on. Then persistence, and it kind of goes in hand with persistence, but grit, just like keep going forward.
Love that. How do you measure your success?
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, looking back in the rearview mirror and seeing how far we've come, and knowing that we have made an impact and have, at least been successful so far.
Okay. What's the best advice you've ever received, or a piece of advice that just always stands out and it has stuck with you over the years?
Go easy on yourself and give yourself grace.
We all need that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we all need that sometimes,
Yes.
for sure. What advice would you give to another startup, like another beauty startup right now, who is just not seeing the results that they want to see, and they're just like, maybe this is not for me, I should do something else?
I've been there, and I still have those days. So I just say keep going. And if there are signs and doors that are opening for you, and there's little glimpses of, that you should still keep going, because there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. What's a resource that you use in your business that you can share with the Friends in Beauty community?
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, personally, I love leadership podcasts because I don't know, like, I don't know how to be a CEO. So it's like just a personal resource for myself, for leaders and people developing companies, is, how to become better leaders. So I do like some leadership podcasts. And then because we're so esthetician focused, we just dive into a lot of esthetician and aesthetics resources, and attend different aesthetic trade shows. So there's iSpa, and I always get the acronym wrong, but it's IECSC, the International Aesthetics Conference in Vegas. So we get a lot of resources from some of those conferences too.
Okay. What's your go-to podcast for leadership?
So I'm a believer. So I'm a faith-based person. So I actually like Craig Rochelle, his leadership podcast, and a faith-driven entrepreneur podcast.
Okay. I'm gonna check it out. I love podcasts. I'm gonna check it out, of course. So the last one, I just want you to fill in the blank and just say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is whatever you think it is.
Okay. My name is Shannon Erley, and the key to success is persistence and going easy on yourself.
I love that. That going easy on, y'all better listen, okay? Because we're so
I need to listen to myself with that.
I know. I always tell people a lot of the advice that I give, like, even though it's received by other people, I'm talking to myself as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pumping myself up too.
Exactly.
Yes. Before you go, please share your social media information or however you want people to connect with you and Pomp.
Yeah, so our Instagram is pomp.beauty. And then for people looking for skincare recommendations, go to pompbeauty.com and get started. And it's totally free to connect with an esthetician and get those recommendations. And then for estheticians, same thing, pompbeauty.com. And then we have in the top navigation bar, just click the button for estheticians, and then you can learn more on how to incorporate Pomp into your practice.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Shannon.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was great.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.